Going on, guys? Sorry, it's been a little bit since I've got a video out. I've got a lot of recording for you. I've just got to edit them and I will get them to you. So here's what I've been up to, really working on steel. So these are my last couple steel practice sessions. This is a version of in and out, obviously, where I'm really just trying to work on the steel. Trying to have these easy papers that I'm moving in and out from, but my main focus, trying or attempting and failing through, as you'll see through this, is getting it on these pieces of steel, getting my footwork down, kind of introducing some what we do in a match into the practice, so it distracts you from shooting the steel. So the main focus in my head is the steel, but as I do these other things, as you'll see, I'm failing and having makeups. It's just what happens. It's part of the process. So I'm showing you guys raw, real, what I'm going through in these practices. As you see, what I'm implementing here is I'm trying not to do the same thing over and over. So I'm trying to do a different run every time, so that I don't, basically, I'm not just trying to get better at that one run of that one way of doing it. I do that sometimes, but I'm getting away from that. The more I'm learning, the more I'm trying to get away from that, keeping my brain basically kind of in crisis mode, as you will, so I'm not able to just rely on brainless activity, because I've shot the particular drill so many times. So I'm having to still think while simultaneously work on whatever I'm working on. Sometimes I'll break it down to where I'm just working on one particular thing, and then maybe introducing something else, but I'm getting more into trying to create confusion and some chaos and becoming better at handling that while still focusing on what I need to focus, because that's what is realistic in a match, especially. In and out drill is great. This is like I said, a version of that where I'm doing different things, kind of doing it differently every time, trying to obviously take those targets on the way in and on the way out, depending on what I'm doing. And then, as you see, you see my frustration. The steel is, I am determined to be the best at shooting steel. So I'm working on a couple things. One of them is trigger control when I'm aiming at steel, aiming for the center of it, and trigger control. I know what I need to do, I'm just bad at doing it. So here's a different practice. Obviously it's raining this day. I posted one of these runs. I think one of my best run, which still I missed. These pieces of steel are so difficult. As you see, I'm trying to work through it. I even not give up, but take a moment just to pause and just shoot the steel, just to know that I can hit it throughout this practice. But as you can see, these are not easy shots. Obviously doing a little bit of movement, having some makeups on these closer ones that are about 8 inches, and the farther ones on the back right, as you see, is about 6 inches, and that really small one in the center back left center is about maybe 4 inches wide. And it's just it's a version of a mini popper that is just ridiculously small, and I've got it at 25 yards from where I'm shooting it. So really pushing the pace, like it's a frustrating thing, because my dot seems like it's on it, but my trigger control is where I'm just yanking the trigger, and I'm even missing some of the closer ones. So this whole practice was just geared towards working on these poppers, just working this trigger. I mean, it was raining, so that was an added layer of difficulty, which I was okay with, because I need to learn it and I want to get better, and I'm determined. So if you guys are working on steel, these while I'm failing through these, failing is part of the process, and definitely more difficult than probably what you would see in a match. But just continuing to push through it, it was tough. These two, I'm showing basically my very two difficult, what I'm working on these two practices. I'm showing what I need the most help with, what my biggest weaknesses are, which is steel, and while adding some of that chaos into it, being patient on it when I want to go fast. That's my natural state, is I want to go fast and I want to move. I want to get done with this target to go to the next one or the next position. So if you're like me, I'm going to be doing more of these practices and less of what I really like to do. And I've always been okay with it, working harder on my weaknesses. But especially for this year, I just want to dominate on steel. As you see, if you noticed, I started to get lower, got lower, and that seemed to help my focus a little bit. It wasn't for the movement, it was, which I do want to stay low during my movement. My movement actually kind of felt very clunky, but I was really, I thought I was figuring something out, and then I would miss, of course. But I trusted that it was where I needed to be. So I'm going to continue to try to do that, stay low, and really focus on those difficult shots.
Reload. Still under 8.756 with the reload, one extra shot.
So, anyways, this is the end. It starts to dump, and I just did something fun.
Did it. Okay, just pour. Starting to pour now. 0.94. I'm about 12 yards from those Targets USA mini poppers, little Colt steel. 0.94, and those are about 15 feet or so apart. So I am going to retreat and get out of there. That was the last little thing. Took me a few tries. Just the last. Let's see how many I got left. It was my last mag. Looks like I've got 4 shots left. 6 shots left. So yeah, I had, I think it took me 4 tries. So not bad, under a second, and that was the goal. So, all right, guys, it's raining, but still no excuse. Spend some time, get out there, get on the range, get trained, and get practicing. Because you never know when you gotta shoot in the rain. It happens. All right.